Mr. Sai, thank you. It's such an honor to have you here with us today on my talk show.
Thank you.
Again, just an honor to have you here. I'm
Thank you
just
so much.
thrilled. How were you born? Were you met with an accident? Were you disabled by birth, if you don't mind my question?
Yeah, absolutely. It's this journey is special for me because it's not an ordinary journey. It's can call that. It's a journey for not only for myself, for my family, for the people around me. They have been seeing me fully like a roller coaster journey for like smile, suffering. Lot of things are there. So basically, I was born in the northern side of India. The place is called Siliguri, which is a very scenic, beauty place, and also it's a place full of the people having very soft kind of heart and a very cultural place. So being born in a cultural family, it's like I'm carrying this heritage, but you know that I was born normal, but things started when I was 3.5 months old. So my mother was preparing me in the afternoon, and I was just a baby, so she passed on me to my grandma's lap, and she heard a sound. So I started crying, and she was not getting any clue that what's really happening. Then I continued crying. Then after some hours, she found out that I'm having a fracture in my right hand below the shoulder. So my parents rushed with me to a doctor, and then the doctor plastered, and all things were calm and quiet. So it was normal because maybe sometime by passing out to me, maybe the fracture had happened. But it was not easy when the frequency started. Like in 1 year, I had more than 3 and 4 fractures. Then they got a doubt that why Sai is having a lot of fracture in very short time. So they went to Kolkata, which is a biggest city nearby Siliguri, which is a very famous city in North West Bengal, Kolkata. So there the doctors and surgeons got a lot of things, and I was diagnosed with this disease called osteogenesis imperfecta, which is commonly known as brittle bone disease. So yeah, I never met an accident, but I feel my birth was accidentally because it was special for me and special for my parents. Yeah.
Okay. So growing up, did you feel different from the other children? Did you feel that something was left out or something was missing?
Yes, this question I can say yes, because you know, when I was actually from my childhood, I was very passionate about dancing. So I was a dancer. I used to train about in Kathak, and I used to love the steps, and I used to copy the dance step just by seeing them once in the TV. So around 5.5 years, I continued my dancing. But in that age, the doctor consulted my parents that, could you please suggest Sai that without dancing, if anything else is there, he can pursue it easily. Because the people whom I was dancing, they were not having enough awareness that by just touching a bone of mine or a leg, I can have a fracture immediately. So I used to have a lot of fractures. So upon the suggestion of doctors, I thought I am not like other children. I have something different, and I should feel that. But you know, at 5.5 years, I was not enough mature to understand that why I am different. But my parents were so lovely, and they were suggesting me to do something by sitting in one place in a safe zone to express my emotion. So I was feeling that my other friends are doing something else. They are going to grounds, they are playing with football and cricket and other thing, but I have to be in the safe zone, inside walls, inside room, under the observation of my parents. But I was happy because I found out that no matter what happens to me, I should be happy, because happiness not coming from that other children doing outside, happiness comes from me. So I should find out something else which can give me enough happiness.
Speaking of happiness and the comments of how you grew up, you know, that's a very hard value to keep. What keeps you motivated? What keeps you passionate? What keeps you happy?
Yeah, because the time when I stopped dancing, I was searching for a tool to express my emotions coming out. So then very magically, coincidentally you can say that my mother is a singer and she used to have music class in home. So gradually I pulled out to the music and she inspired me that why not you sit with me and try singing something. Then I found out that music is gradually inside me. I don't have to push me out. It's already inbuilt. It's a software God has given me by default. So music came out and I found out that I can sing quite naturally. And so she is the first trainer in my life. She taught me the first ABCD of music. Then gradually from my 6.5 years, I started learning music and I found out this music can really get me lot of happiness, and also passionate about learning lot of different language music, and so I became a musician and became a singer, and around the age of 10 and 11 years I was established singer and I got my awards called Dishari for the best child singer all over the West Bengal.
How exciting that you got such an award and that you found music as your passion. You know, growing up here in India, as you and I both know, you know, having grown up here in India, it's not always friendly. It's not always accessible. So, and accessibility is very challenging. It certainly is growing up when you go to any place and they don't have accessibility and that kind of thing. What were your thoughts about this? What are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, actually this topic called accessibility was not in my life until I shifted to Andhra, the place called Puttaparthi, where we shifted for the betterment of my well-being, because around the age of 14 and 15 my parents were settled down to this thinking that I'm not going to be the normal yet, because there are a lot of doctors and surgeons who were seeing me and they told that there is no cure of osteogenesis imperfecta as yet in the world. So I have to settle down my life as I am. And in 2001 I fall down and both of my leg got fractured, and together, and then a little bit negligence of the doctor, they got my plaster both of my legs like I'm sitting in the wheelchair. So after 1.5 months I figured out that I saw that I could not again stand. So I have to make myself in a wheelchair, but I would love to tell you that still then I had not seen the face of accessibility in my life, because I was quite thin, just opposite I'm looking like now. So my father easily used to put me in his lap, or my mother, and I used to go around the places. So I never see that what is actually mean accessibility. It started happening after we shifted to Andhra, and after I confinement, I will come to that point later on. After the confinement of 6 years, when I came out in this present wheelchair in the year 2015, the first time I saw the face of accessibility, and I was so nervous and I was so down that what is the present situation of India is actually zero in accessibility. If I say, especially in my place, I never seen a ramp to go public places. I found out that only my house which is having a ramp, not the other buildings surrounding. So I really feel very much that what I can do, because it is very tough and very difficult.
Right. I agree with you completely. I feel you. You know, when you speak of accessibility and the challenges of, as growing up as a deaf person, I never met an interpreter until I went to college in the United States. So I understand that sense and that feeling of not having any access itself. So tell me about your interests. What do you do every day? What does a typical day look like for you?
Yeah, it is actually because I am very creative person. So I never allow myself to go to the systematic regular routine. I always prefer myself to do something which I love to do from my heart, and it includes my interest like my singing, watching good movies, and absolutely meeting new people because I love to talk. And that gives me enough entertainment all over my day to meeting new people, interacting with them, knowing their life and how it can relate and how it can transform my life. I have tried a lot of things, from doing creativity, from collecting stamps, doing different places, meeting new people, trying different languages, and then I started doing designing with one finger. Lot of people said you can't do this because with one finger you can't do design, but my parents and my brother, younger brother, said no, you can go. So they have always made me green signal that try it out. So that's why I am a 12 records holder today with one finger. So credit goes to them. Thank you.
Amazing. Did you experience in any time that you were a burden on your family? Did you ever feel like it was heavy for them, that you feel guilty? I mean, there are times for me that I feel as if I'm a burden on my parents having a deaf son. I have those moments. Have you experienced that yourself?
This question actually come 50-50. Like, like not all the time, absolutely I can say no, because they never allowed me to feel like that I am a burden on their life or I am heavy, because they never showed anything into my life that I am like extra thing in their life, because they always supported me like not anything, and they found that I am only the purpose of their life. So they never imagined their life without me. So there is nothing called heaviness. But I should say that during that confinement of 6 years from 2009 to 2015, I should say that sometimes I used to feel guilty that because of me, my condition, especially my mother was not able to go outside for a vacation or for change out, or none of the invitation my mother accepted, because my brother and my father used to go, because Indian society, we have lot of responsibilities, we have to sometimes figure it out. But I should say my mother never accepted anything without me, so they never used to go to any public invitation, because they always felt that Sai is inside home, so he should not enjoy without Sai. So sometimes I used to not show that guilty to them, but in my mind, because today you asked me this question, I should be enough open to this chat, so that I used to feel guilty that because of me, maybe my parents are sacrificing a lot of things which I may not repay in my life, but I should say that because of this sacrifices and all these things, I should say my parents are equally proud of me, that whatever I am doing. So I feel happy for them, that at the end of the day they are happy for me. I don't know how much I have given to them, but all the sacrifices they have given, we can't, as a son, I can't repay, but I will try my best. At the end of my breath, I will try to make them happy, whatever way I can do.
That is such an inspiration. So can you tell me, what are your top 3 values, Sai?
Okay, first value which I always observe in my life is happiness, because you have to be happy in all the situation, all the circumstances, whatever may happen to you. Don't ever allow yourself to be down, because the people around you always try to make you down. I should not say that, but as we are living in India, we can't get all the friendly people outside, so they can say that, Sai, this is not good idea for you to do, you should not go this place. There is so many no's can come to your life, but once you allow it, it will overlap to your life. So I said, always be happy, anything can happen to you. Your happiness is the first thing you should carry yourself, and you should not give that remote control of happiness to other hand. You should operate it on your own. So this is the first value. I carry out. Second value is positivity, because why I am saying that, to become happy you have to have enough positivity inside you, because if you are being born with special abilities, I don't call myself differently able people, because being born with some disorders or some lack of collagen or lack of thousands of fracture, I am not a differently able people, because disability comes when you allow yourself to make yourself disabled to do something. But I found that I am enough capable to do thousands of things. I can do design with one finger, I can motivate thousands of people, I am the only one happiness coach in India, so it doesn't make me disabled. But first you have to have positivity, because if people are shooting you negative questions or negative surrounding, negative situation or negative remarks, but always count your marks which you are expert in, never count people's remarks. I found that it's very valuable to carry your positivity, only then you can be happy. So this is the second value. And the third value which I always carry with me, that never be judgmental. We always judge any people with their appearance, with their talk, with their look and all these things. But you never know that what situation he or she is going through, what is his or her story behind. So I feel like when I used to go to the different occasion or different activities, when people see me in wheelchair, they always try to say that Sai has come, so they are always very much in strain that let's make a place for Sai, or I used to go to universities and all these things, they are always very much that Sai has come, so let us make it more special for it. But I feel that what way you are looking me in my wheelchair is not defining my qualities. So never ever judge anyone with their appearance, with their look, or the way they talk, with their gender, with their all the likes and dislikes. You should not judge them, because we are beautiful from our soul, we are beautiful from our heart. So that is the main thing we should focus, that persons are always can be different, because God has sent us different, all the people. No one thumb impression is same. We all are different.
Yes, I can see that. I can see your value and my value, and I thank you so much, Sai. I'm very inspired. I need you to know that the world needs you. Sai, if you wrote a book about your life, what title would you give it?
For this question, I would love to say that I already have written a book. I have authored a book, and
I need to buy your book then.
Yes, the book is I have written with one finger by using virtual keyboard, because my hands are not reaching the physical keyboard, you know. So I wrote a book called My Life, My Love, My Dear Swami. I briefly mentioned my childhood stories, how I have faced lot of problems and some different incidents, and a very much struggle after coming to Puttaparthi, where we are now staying, how my parents started lot of different careers to make myself and my brother going smooth. So it is a saga of a happy and smiling family, and it has translated into 13 languages all over the India. And I got a wonderful letter from our Prime Minister that a book can be written with a virtual keyboard also, that can be possible.
Right, absolutely, I agree with you. Sai, I just thank you so much for joining the talk show. It was absolutely a big honor to have you here.
So thank you, Vaibhav, for inviting me. Thank you so much from the heart.
Right, thank you, Sai.